Football on Off the Ball.
With Paddy Power. New normal, same old football. Paddy Power. Gamble responsibly. Gamblingcare.ie.
All right, I'm delighted to say that ahead of the Republic of Ireland's game against Germany next Tuesday, we have the Republic of Ireland manager Vera Pauw with us. Vera, good afternoon to you. How are you getting on?
Good afternoon. We're busy. It's going well in the camp. We have a few more days than we usually have because the game is on Tuesday. And that gives us some time also to see some youngsters. So it's really a vibrant environment here in the camp.
Before I talk to you about that and before I talk to you about the Germans, I did want to talk to you a little bit about Maradona and your memories as a football lover of, one of the most important characters in football that we're ever going to see. What was your takeaway from this week? What were you watching that made you think, oh, wow, that's amazing?
All the clips that we've seen are very well known, so that is more repetition. It's more that we lose one of the best former football players that this game ever had. I'm not a person that's going into a huge mourning process for something like that because he also hurt a lot of people with his life after football. But as a football player, we will dearly miss him, and it's sad. It's a sad end of a life that was harsh for the person, and with a lot of very good moments as well. And let's keep the memory of all the fantastic football activities of him deep in our heart and carry that on into our game.
Yeah, look, I think you're dead right to bring that up straight off the bat because so many people had turned away in recent years because it was an awful thing to bear witness to the terrible things that he was doing and how his life had gone off the tracks. I'm always interested, though, in the perception of him as a footballer in your football culture where... that's a question, right? What was the perception of him in your football culture? Because so often we learn about the Dutch style is a collective, and while there are geniuses, in particular Cruyff, who's hugely important, Cruyff also, he worked within a system and within a style that helped to elevate him as an individual.
Yeah, true, but you cannot compare Maradona and Cruyff. They each have their top and excellent qualities on their own, and they're completely different. So I never go into that discussion of the one comparing with the other. They both have the same place in the history of the game. And the thing is, Maradona was also playing in the system because he was more playing for himself and the rest was making sure that he could do that. Whereas Cruyff was more a player that was more into the tactical side and doing things with the coach and the team. So completely different. But we will miss them both.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, that is very interesting. That the whole notion of Maradona not playing in the system was get the ball to Maradona and make sure that if anybody's beating him up too much, you beat that person up back.
I will not go that far, but it's great to have a player like that, of course. If that is the strategy and it works, they became world champions, so why would you not do it? And he could flourish because of that. But he would have flourished in any team he would have played, like Cruyff. He was flourishing in every team that he played. So those are the exceptional talents and the exceptional qualities in the game. And it's more enjoying than copying because nobody can copy those talents.
That's a very, very good point to finish that part of the conversation. Let's talk about Germany. They have built over the last while a team that you said they're the second best team in the world, but you could make the case that they are the best team in the world. And we were never really going to judge Ireland versus Germany. It was going to be versus the rest of the group. So it's difficult to get up for this last game, and yet at the same time, you've got no choice. So what's your message to the team this week about that?
That we have to make sure that we play our best game ever. It is not realistic to say that it would be an equal game because it's not. But we are going to prepare the best we can, and we are going to play the best game ever. That is our goal. And then at the end of the game, we'll see. And playing the best game ever is playing a strategy, playing a game plan against an opponent that is much better than we are. And then at the end of the game, we'll see where we stand. But there's one thing that we want is that everybody sees that we have taken everything out of it, and we will not let one aspect go to create a little chance to win. And we will battle ourselves through the game. And we know exactly where Germany is, and the variety of their play and the mobility that they have. That makes them, in my opinion, the best playing football, the team playing the best football in the world at this moment in the women's game. That doesn't mean if USA is playing Germany that Germany will definitely win, but they have the most variable play, if that makes any sense, than all the teams. So it's very difficult to play them because it's like liquid. If one is coming in, the other is taking the position, and the striker is coming back, and somebody else going into the spaces that leaves. And it's very difficult to prepare for that team. Whereas in USA, it's more that the players stay in the same position. They might come in a bit, there would be an overlap, but they are more strong because of their individual qualities added up to making it a great team and working very hard for each other. But to prepare with a game plan against Germany is more difficult than against USA.
Right, just because they have that flexibility. Wait, did they? So, I mean, a lot of people will remember that we had a good result against them. Was it maybe 5, 6, 7 seasons ago? What have they done in terms of getting their playing population and style to the level where they have become the best team in the world over the last number of years? How did they revolutionise that?
Well, Martina Vos has brought in new players. She made a dynamic team of the German team, whereas before it was a team that was not on the edge of their game. So everybody had the feeling we can get something of Germany. They had a few difficult years after their own World Cup in 2011. And now is the time that the new talents were ready to put in. Martina Vos did not fear doing that. And she created a play with those players. Again, that is so solid, but saying that so with such a flexible way of playing, like liquid, I think that is the best way to describe it. And I think that it is that Martina Vos has a huge part in this. She's a fantastic coach, and I'm actually surprised that she's not a candidate for the best coach of the year this year, because Germany is the only team that had such a changeover in this year, and having I'm not sure 37 goals for and 0 against. I mean, that is by far better than any other team. So I was a bit surprised that she was not on the list and a few others were. Okay,
so that's the scale of the task facing us on Tuesday. How are your players feeling about this, given that they've seen up close and personal exactly how good this Germany team is when they beat them 3-0 in, was it October, September?
Yeah. What do you mean, to compare it with that game?
Well, how do the players feel about that now? Because
well, the players feel great. They feel like playing this game. They are up for it. We have a team with no fear. They have no fear of failing, and we've worked really hard on that to not just fall back into your own, let's say, parking the bus and just keep it with that and kicking the balls away. We really try to create a situation in which our game is improving and we have a more attacking game. Although away in the first half especially, we were not capable of doing that. That was not strategy, that was Germany doing that with us. And the second half we could adjust. Actually, from sitting deeper, we could push forward. And that brought us also that we could have moments that we could show the talent that we have and the possibilities that we have. But overall, it is against Germany, it's a huge task to just stop them. And that is reality. But that doesn't mean that players are not up for it to go into that direction, because we grow every single day and they want to have every challenge that they can get. How
did you grow after the Ukraine game? What was What's the message after that? Because obviously that's heartbreaking, where you performed well in the second half against Germany, and you feel like, okay, we've got to a point now where we've come up against the best team in the world, we've readjusted in the middle of the game, and we've improved. So there's a real sense of everything we're trying to do is working, and then obviously it's a terrible mistake in the Ukraine game that ends up costing you, and in turn it looks like that's going to probably cost us our opportunity to go to the Euros next year in England.
Yeah. True. True. Part of it is, of course, also the 2 goals against at home that were mistakes of us. The away goal against Greece, that was a mistake for us. What we take out of it, and what I've said, is that we have grown so much. We did not get 1 goal against out of their open play. All the goals that we got, apart from the Germany game, every goal that we got against in this campaign were mistakes of us. And like terrible mistakes of us. And that is part of the process of growing towards a mature team that can be consistent on a level. But if the public says that we didn't get that from one person, but from all over, that even though we have lost, that it was the best game that they've seen from Ireland women so far, we can be proud of that, because in 14 months, we have played only 6 times. And before the Ukraine game, we had 1.5 tactical session. And the rest we had to do with video. So the concentration of the players was so high that they could build towards that game in a way to play their best game so far. The fact that we lost, that we had an own goal, that we missed a penalty kick, that we touched the crossbar, that we hit the post, that we had a ball cleared off the line, that all we should remember it as that was just that day that didn't go for us. We did everything well but scoring. And I don't want to just hang it on the mistake in the back from Onya and the goalkeeper, Courtney, because there were so many moments on the other side that we could have done the job, but it was just that little part was not good enough. And I think that in the group, nobody is blaming anyone. We all gave our best. We all played our best game ever, but it just didn't go our way. If we would play this game 10 more times, I think 8 of the 10 we would win. So, that is football, that's life, it happens again. But we will grow from it. And if we will not qualify, it still needs to happen. If we will not qualify, we will make sure that we will have a fantastic friendly program so that we can use the time to grow to the top, and we go with more confidence and more stability and consistency into the World Cup qualifiers with a team that's only growing, because the ceiling of this team is by far reached. We have this week extra players in because of COVID, so that if somebody gets infected, that we have enough players, that we don't have to bring in somebody in the bubble, but that everybody is in the bubble. So it gives young players the chance to show themselves. And we have more time, so we have more opportunities to show. And if you see the talent that we have in Ireland, we will grow from this for sure. We will grow further to further heights. And if the draw is not too bad for the World Cup, then I think that you will see a team that is that will explode and will be there and will astonish the world. Yeah,
because it's at a tipping point right now with the Irish public, where the games are on TV, where Tala had sold out at least for the games, and there was the whole 20 by 20 campaign, and your team are such brilliant ambassadors for themselves, for the team, for sport, and for women travelling the world and succeeding on foreign fields, that like the whole country is just dying for them to succeed. So I can imagine the heartbreak, but the way you framed the conversation, there's a rebelliousness in the middle of that, something that actually is happening here, that we didn't get our dues. But I see that's the rallying call this week. Then it has to be that for one last moment in this tournament, let's go out and die in the field.
It will be more or less like that, but we will be ready. It will not be just go out and play and give our best. It will be structured. This week is structured in a way that we can be at our best, because that's really hard work from everybody to get to your best. And that does not happen by itself, and it only happens in a process where everybody is giving everything of themselves, and where everything that happens will tune into this final moment, and that is the game. The good thing of this group is that they're so focused and they're such a willing to get there. So a long-term concentration is not a problem for this group. I've never had a group that could do that for so long and still stay humble and relaxed. And I think if you look at the game now and the support that we get from Ireland, we need to realize that we feel all the support. We cannot have them in the stadium, but we do play for them. And getting that support from Ireland and getting that positive reactions, even after the Ukraine game, that gives us such a base of trust and such a base of warmth that we can do something for sport, and we can do something for little girls. That we get pictures from girls that are so heartbroken that they cannot come to the game, but that they will be in front of the TV and they will have their shirts on and their faces painted. And we know that this is bigger than just our game. This is bigger than just playing Germany. This is we want to show Ireland that we feel Ireland and that we want to grow and that we want to emit that this is something more than just playing a top sport game.
It sounds, with the young players coming in and talking about the friendlies if we don't qualify, that you've already started to plan for the future. What's your own situation? Because I think, as far as I know, your contract was due to finish at the end of this qualifying campaign. Have you had conversations yet about taking the team through to the World Cup?
No, because we still have playoffs to play and we have a final tournament to play.
So you think we're going to qualify?
We are doing everything to qualify. And the finish line is only there when we've passed the finish line. And then we see if we need to talk or if the friendlies will be the lead up to the playoffs. But we did plan. Of course, we planned for both because the budgets have to go in. And we have got a planning if we qualify, and we have a planning if we do not qualify. If we qualify, it's related to performing at your best at the playoffs. If we don't qualify, it's related to growing the team until the World Cup qualifies, so that we are ahead of others in our preparation.
Okay. Would you be interested, even if we don't qualify, in being the Ireland manager after?
I don't want to even think about that. And it's not being nasty, but nothing in my body thinks about whether I would go on or not, because I'm still in the complete competition. And for me, there's no need to even think before that, because that only distracts my mind. I am here to get the best out of the players, and they will play their best game ever. And after that game, we'll see where we stand, and then it's early enough to think about it.
Well, look, as I said, it's on Tuesday at 5 o'clock. The whole country is, at this time more than ever, also beaming in and offering you their support. So here's hoping that we can pull off a big...
Thank you so much, because we need and we feel all the support, and I hope that we can make you proud.
All right, and I know as well, the other thing that we just wanted to mention was that the women's team have been great at picking charities that they're working with around all of the matches. And this week it's the Gavin Glynn Foundation. And we just wanted to say that they've been doing great work, and the women's team have been great at highlighting these things and just implementing their own position in the community and being of Ireland. It's international teams frequently can feel like they're on something of a pedestal, but that's clearly not the case with your team.
Well, as soon as it's about children, we are there, because children is our future, and children deserve all the support that they can get. And we know that for those children, it's very important that they are supported. And a cause like this, like the Cancer Foundation, we all have people around us that are affected by this terrible disease. And if we can do just that little bit, we will always be there for the children, because why would we not? And we feel that we have a role, and we want to pick it up, and we ask for it also.
Vera, best of luck on Tuesday. Thanks a million.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Football on Off the Ball
with Paddy Power. Minimal contact in stadiums shouldn't stop the usual suspects from going down. Gamble responsibly. Gamblingcare.ie.